Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Money, Real Business podcast. I'm Lauren, and today we have Asli on the show, who's selling an Amazon FBA and e-commerce business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Hey Asli, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi Lauren, thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you?
Doing very well. Very excited to learn more about your business. But before we dive into all those details, I'm going to give the listeners a brief summary of the business so they know more about what we're talking about. As I mentioned, this is an Amazon FBA and e-commerce business. It was created in March 2018, and it's in the home niche. The average revenue for the business is $148,385 per month, and it makes an average of $30,431 per month in net profit. The assets included with the business are an Amazon Seller Central account, a domain and all site content and files, supplier contracts and relationships, a WooCommerce account, Instagram and Pinterest social media accounts, trademarks, an email list with 15,543 subscribers, as well as Etsy, Faire, Wayfair, Wish, and Walmart accounts. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to verified buyers. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 63905 to learn more about this business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So, Asli, now that the viewers have more info about the business, let's hear from you. Can you fill us in on your background in starting and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure, Lauren. So I am actually professionally a marketing manager. So I have more than 10 years of experience in managing multi-million-dollar brands in multinational FMCG and tech companies. I had the full growth and P&L responsibility growing those brands that I was responsible for. This, of course, included e-commerce as well. So this is where my e-commerce knowledge had been built up.
Yeah, it's fantastic that you had that knowledge base behind you. I'm sure that definitely gave you a great starting point for this business. What was it that attracted you to the Amazon FBA business model?
Yeah, so as I said, I was responsible growing my brands on e-commerce and Amazon was on top of the priority because I want to explore the opportunity in Amazon for my brands at that time. So I decided to have actually explore it from the first hand. So in parallel to growing my brands professionally in my career, I decided to launch my own business on Amazon. So after an extensive research and fetching the data from Amazon and other platforms, I decided the home niche category holds the biggest opportunity. And I launched my business in 2018.
Fantastic. Yeah, it sounds like you certainly put a lot of thought into the business before you started it. What was it that made you choose these specific products to sell?
So I was personally interested in the home category. It is kind of my hobby and interest. So I have a natural interest in the category. And I started to research online, what kind of products and what kind of products holds the best opportunity. And it was on and off Amazon data, what I really analyzed. So it was not only just checking the demand numbers on Amazon, but I was also checking off Amazon platforms like Etsy and Pinterest and other design and home category platforms to decide to niche down my portfolio. So this is more or less how I came up with my first products.
Yeah, that's great. I think a holistic approach like that is definitely the best way to go about it because you have branched off of Amazon. Can you walk us through the other sales channels that you use besides Amazon FBA?
Yeah, so currently we are getting 75% of our revenue approximately from Amazon, 20% from Etsy. And the rest is combination of Walmart, WooCommerce, Fairy, and Wayfair. And we just actually launched on Walmart, Fairy, and Wayfair, and we are seeing like tremendous traffic, and they will easily catch up Etsy in a couple of months. So we are kind of regretting the lost opportunity there. They are really huge opportunity in home niche in those channels as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's where your research pays off again, that you're able to get off to such a flying start on these other channels. As you mentioned, the business is doing really, really well. You're off to a flying start on these channels. It's in a niche that you're really passionate about. What are the reasons that you've decided to sell the business now?
The most important reason is like business came to a point that needs like kind of more resources than only me to accelerate the growth. So I decided like it is best to find the right buyer who will be able to scale the business rapidly and faster than me. So this is the main reason. Of course, there are like other reasons that I want to focus on my professional career rather than growing my FBA business. So this is basically the main reason.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear that from a lot of entrepreneurs where the business reaches a point where it requires a lot of time and resources to take to the next level. And as you say, you do have another main job aside from this. So that's perfectly understandable. Looking back over your journey with this business, what would you say was your biggest win or success that you've experienced with the business?
The biggest win, I would say, is to stick to our strategy from the beginning, like starting from the product selection to launch process. So I think we find the right balance between analyzing the existing demands, data on Amazon versus forecasting the upcoming trends. And we were able to reflect this to our product selection. And we really did good to sticking into the strategy. This resulted as like 90% of our launches so far was successful. So we have a really small portion of products that were failing. So I think this is the biggest win and biggest learning from the business, I would say.
Yeah, 90% is a really great success rate. And again, that probably comes down to your research as well. You know exactly what your consumers are looking for.
Exactly. It's so important to understand the demand and what the consumers are asking for. And you get even more inspiration when you launch your products. The new ideas and new opportunities are coming up and you are getting more accurate.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And launches are so expensive. It's important to get them right. On that note, I'm sure not everything went quite as well. Were there any big setbacks or challenges that you experienced with the business?
Yeah, of course. Like there are many challenges we had to face, but one of the biggest one was last year in 2021. Even though the demand exploded in home category and e-commerce, we had issues with our supply chain. Like our factories were closed for several months, and after that, logistic disruptions hit. And even though like we were able to manage growth on year basis, it's really slowed us down, and we were not doing like good job in managing the turbulent times. So it slowed us down in terms of growth and managing our cash flow a little bit. So I would say this was the biggest setback and the most challenging times that we experienced.
Yeah, I'm sure that must have been quite frustrating, especially because you had developed that demand for your product. So not being able to fulfill those orders must have been really frustrating for you.
Exactly. Like the lost opportunity there was huge. That particular experience gave us the opportunity to really manage our supply chain better. So we have now other ways to fulfill our supply chain needs in terms of our transportation partners and in terms of our sourcing partners. So this is actually the good side of it.
Yeah, it's great that you were able to turn that into a learning experience and strengthen your business because of that. Now, you mentioned that you have a background in marketing. I'm sure you've applied many of those techniques to this business. So, can you walk us through the various marketing techniques you use for this business and how you drive traffic to your products?
Yeah, sure. The most important invest marketing that you can do for your brand is like having a nice branding and communications for your brand. Once you have that fundamental thing right, everything comes on top of it will work better. And this includes the PPC. So I am managing the PPC myself, and I found it so far the most efficient way to grow your business on Amazon. So it is currently the only traffic source that we use and only like performance marketing tool that we use to rank on Amazon. So we don't use any sort of other external traffic source for our listing, which is actually another opportunity and untapped territory for growth if a new buyer wants to explore. But for us, it was the most efficient way and return on investments that we saw from managing PPC campaigns effectively was always working for us. So we didn't explore other areas.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Amazon such a powerful platform is that you can leverage that PPC to take full advantage of all the clients that come to Amazon.
Exactly. Amazon is now advancing its ads platform every day, and there are like many other ad types, and they are launching new types every day. So you can grow with that as well. So now a different game, I think, in terms of Amazon advertising than it was before. So only pay per click maybe will not be enough. You should really incorporate the other resources that Amazon is offering right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a fantastic point. It's definitely advancing every day. Now, I see the business comes with several social media accounts. Are you creating content for social media as well?
Actually, we are using our existing content for social media. What we are using is like our own product photography and our reviews on Etsy. And we are basically posting our good reviews on social media. And we don't produce any other content than this. And it is more than enough, actually.
Yeah, I think making good use of the content you already have is a good way to go about that so it doesn't take up too much of your time. You have an email list as well. Are you marketing to your email list?
Yeah, this is another opportunity that the buyer can monetize. So we only use our email list on the holiday season, announce our Black Friday deals or Prime Day deals. So we don't want to really send out like too much mails and lose our audience. But of course, with good nurturing program and email campaign strategy, that audience can be monetized much better than today.
Yeah, well, following on from that point, what do you see as the major opportunities for growth with this business?
There are many. I am really passionate about that, but I will try to just summarize the most easy to grab ones, let's say, and the biggest opportunities. I think there are many low hanging fruits to grow the business rapidly. And the biggest one is to expand to Europe. So we forecast that we can reach like 1 million in revenue in 1 year in Europe in all channels combined. So there's a huge opportunity sitting there. And we have like all the business plan and research ready for that. And similarly, sending inventory to Canada will be another big opportunity. So other than the geographical expansion, I think another easy to grab opportunity is to focus on Walmart, Fairy, and Wayfair. So we just listed our products last month and we are already regretting the lost opportunities, as I told you before. So we should focus those channels earlier. But we were like kind of too busy focusing on the opportunity on Amazon, which is also really high. So our forecast in these three channels combined is to reach around 500K in revenue in a year. And current holiday demands shows that potential is even higher. And this is even without incorporating the Walmart fulfillment services or any advertising support. So these are the in my opinion, the most major ones. But of course, there are like many other opportunities, like better management of inventory. Like, as I told you, historically, we have huge lost opportunities because of like pure forecasting and inventory management. And of course, like line extension, it is really in our niche, it is really viable. Like for the top performing SKUs, the line extension opportunity is huge. And other than that, there is also like room to go for optimizing the listings, incorporating better A plus content and optimizing the ads, I would say. So these are like most of the opportunities.
Yeah, I think those are fantastic. And as you say, it's low hanging fruit, but it can have such a huge impact on the revenue of the business. So definitely really great opportunities for buyers to take advantage of.
Yeah, totally.
Now, you mentioned earlier that because of the previous supply chain problems that you've reinforced your supply chain. So can you walk us through what your supply chain looks like? How many suppliers you use? Where are they based? And how does inventory get to Amazon warehouses and your consumers?
Yeah, so currently we have three suppliers and one in India and two in China. So we work with them from the beginning. Like it was really important to me, like choose the right partner for the business. So we've been really meticulous in our selection at that time, and we spent really good time to select our partner. We have like supplier contracts, very unique and very detailed, and quality was one of the most important things that we really paid attention to, and we are really happy working with our suppliers. This is the first thing that I would like to point out. And also in terms of like transportation partners, we have several of them. At first we only used one, but after seeing that transportation disruptions requires like more selection when it comes to transportation partners, we expanded our partners. So currently we work with three different freight forwarders according to our needs. And in terms of inventory replenishment, we usually fill two 40-inch containers, and let's say every 2 months, depending of the time of the year, and 50% of it goes directly to FBA and rest goes to our 3PL. And because of the easy management, we prefer to fulfill other channels also from Amazon when it allows. But we are kind of like changing it according to our needs and inventory levels. We either fulfill other channels from Amazon by using multi-channel fulfillment, or we fulfill it through our 3PL. So it is all automated. So we are using Sellbrite to combine all our orders, and then we choose where to fulfill from. So this is like in very short summary how it looks like. So it requires minimal effort from my side. And yeah, currently it's working really efficiently for us.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic that you were able to streamline. As you say, it requires minimal effort from you, but also that you seem to have such a great relationship with your suppliers. That's definitely absolutely priceless when it comes to e-commerce supply chains.
Exactly. And we worked hard with our partners to come to that point. It was not an overnight success, let's say. We really educated them, we invested in them, and it is now paying off. And one of the, I think, like most valuable thing that we have in our agreement with them is our payment terms. In rest of the industry, we are paying like 30% in down payment, but the rest is we are paying in terms. So we are not paying the rest of the 70% once the inventory is arrived to a port, but we are able to pay the balance payment in different terms. So I will not like give too much details of that, but it is working really good for us. So we don't have to stress about the cash flow that much. So this is also a really good thing and one of the best wins that we did when agreeing with our suppliers.
Yeah, that's great. As you say, I'm sure that helps with cash flow a lot. And your suppliers wouldn't have arranged that with you if they didn't trust you, which I think is one of the main benefits of buying an established business over setting something up from scratch, is that you inherit that supplier relationship and can take advantage of it.
Exactly. So true.
How long does it normally take to replenish your orders? So from the day that you place the order with your suppliers to the day that it arrives at Amazon warehouses, how long does that normally take?
So it depends on the order, but usually it takes 30 to 40 days of production. And after that, 30 to 40 days of transits until Amazon warehouse.
Okay, great. And are you fulfilling the inventory by air or by sea?
It is by sea. We never use air. It is too expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what your current inventory limits are at Amazon warehouses?
Yes, first of all, I want to mention that we are really close to 400. So probably we will have no limits in the next quarter. But currently, we have for standard size storage 5,252 cubic feet. And for oversized storage, we have 5,967 cubic feet. So it is more than enough for us, even for the holiday volumes. We are easy to manage within these limits.
Yeah, that's great to know that you have that wiggle room and you're not going to be short of inventory space, especially in the holiday season. You mentioned that your supply chain is very streamlined. It's quite hands off from your perspective. So, what does a typical work week look like for you when running this business? What sort of activities are taking up your time?
First of all, I am the type of I like being hands on. Like most of the tasks that I'm handling daily can be handed over to a VA easily. But what I'm doing daily is like, first of all, I check the performance of the previous days and adjust my campaigns and inventory levels accordingly if needed. And yeah, as I said, everything is automated when it comes to order fulfillment, but I check if everything is in order, let's say like weekly. So I spent some time on customer service to see like what kind of questions, complaints, and requests customers have. It always gives me a lot of insights to develop the business further. And yeah, I check like inventory levels, like prepare and adjust the next purchase orders from our suppliers, and what else, like I create FBA shipments when necessary. So these are the tasks that I am handling every day or weekly.
Yeah, it's great. It sounds like you've certainly streamlined all of those processes. And as you say, it wouldn't be too hard for a VA to take those over. Do you have a team in place or any employees that help you maintain the business?
I have a partner and we are kind of sharing the workload 50-50. And from time to time, like busy seasons, and if we don't have like much time to focus on, we are hiring VAs on and off, but we don't have any like contractors or regular employees.
Okay, great. Given everything that we've discussed, it certainly sounds like the business is running like a well oiled machine. So, what do you think the biggest challenge will be for the new buyer taking over this business?
We all know the odds and the risks of managing an Amazon business. I think this business is no different. This is fundamentally an FBA business, and it carries all the risks of being an FBA and Amazon business, right? So it's 75% of the revenue is coming from Amazon. So it's a risk, I think, that everyone is aware of. Other than that, I don't really see any other risk than being an Amazon business. I think like opportunities we mentioned are way like bigger or outshadows the any risk comes with it. And I am a true believer of home category being one of the most fastest growing and opportunistic category at Amazon. So it's not yet mature. Brands are not like well established. Competition is much less compared to other categories and other niches like sports, supplements, baby, etc. I think the risks, other than risks of being an FBA business, I don't see any particular risk, to be honest.
Well, that's always fantastic to hear. And I think it's great that you're able to diversify your revenue away from Amazon to help alleviate that risk as well.
Yes, exactly. I know that like some buyers, they are only focusing on FBA, but expanding to other channels, actually, it is not bringing you any other workload. Like everything is automated and you're just listing your portfolio in a new category. And if it gets successful, it is just adding up into your revenue. So I find it quite simple and lean way to incorporate to your current FBA business. So I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. And definitely something that all FBA business owners should look into, I think. Ashley, you've got so much e commerce experience on your side, as well as the marketing experience. How much support are you willing to offer buyers to help them navigate the challenges that they might face?
I'm open to conversation on this with the buyers because I will obviously do whatever is necessary for the business to succeed. I'm really open to conversation. Like I can tell you that I will support them as much as I can. So what I put in the listing is like 2 months of unlimited support. But obviously I will be there if they need more than that.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think that'll be a huge help for them to be able to lean on you like that. When it comes time to negotiating the sale, would you be open to something like an earnout agreement?
Yes, of course. Like as a seller, my first preference would be as much as cash as I could get. But again, like I'm open to conversations and it's really important to right buyer as well. So it really depends on the type of the deal, whether it's the right buyer or not. I'm open to conversation around that.
Fantastic. And would you commit to a non-compete agreement?
Yes, I am open to that.
Wonderful. Well, Ashley, as I said, you've got so many years of experience working within e-commerce as well as building up this business. For any of our listeners who are thinking of starting their own Amazon FBA business, do you have any advice that you would give them that you wish you knew when you first started out?
Yeah, for sure. I think like the biggest learning and biggest win as we talk about is like to set the strategy right. Like you cannot just launch a couple of products in a particular niche, you should do the homework and you should frame a strategy when it comes to launching your products and then growing your business and stick to that. So there were times like we were kind of deviating from our strategy, and it's definitely gave like red alarm, and we came back to our original strategy. You really need to stick to your strategy when it comes to choosing a successful product and growing it rapidly. Also, understand your audience well. It is so important, and there are like a lot of free insights available, like any online platform. So depending on your niche, but it is really vital to understand the audience well and what they want, what they need, and what they are willing to pay for, and optimize that opportunity according to needs of the current infrastructure of Amazon FBA business. So this is kind of like very short advice from me to new FBA builders.
I think it's absolutely fantastic advice. As you say, so many new sellers get shiny object syndrome and launch crazy products. But if you stick to those tried and tested strategies, that'll definitely lead to success.
Exactly. So true.
Well, Asli, that leads us to the final question of the interview, and the one we're building up to the whole time. If you had to put yourself into the shoes of a buyer, why do you think your business is a business worth buying?
As I told you before, like the home category, the home niche, I think the best area and best niche to invest at Amazon right now. So this is being one of the reasons our brands and our niche in it is particularly opportunistic, because the brands, the competition, and the overall, the maturity of business is still not there. And when you add all the opportunities that we talk about on top of this, I think this business is like really relatively easy to rapidly grow. So in the right hands, I think this business will triple or even quadruple in 1 to 2 years. So I am that confident to say that. I'm not saying only doubling, but tripling the business is possible only by doing those low-hanging fruits that we talk about. So I think it's a great opportunity for the right buyer. And I would jump into it if I was the buyer and have the resources, to be honest.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like a great business that buyers should really rush to snap up. As you say, so much low-hanging fruit to take advantage of, which is wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners about your business that I might have missed?
I think we covered almost major stuff. Of course, like I can talk about the business like for hours, but I think we pointed out to the important areas already.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Asli, for coming onto this show. I can tell how much passion you have for this business. So thank you for sharing that with us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 63905. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.